Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's happening, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Savage podcast, bringing you another episode with a badass guest. We call him the Food Trailer King, the real food owner, mastermind king, and that is Patrick Bolanos. I said it right there, man. You know, most of you guys know that I'll be mispronouncing people's names, and you almost got to have a South American, thing like an accent to pronounce this man's name, and I love it. It's living the Viva Loca. Welcome, Patrick. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, bro. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. I know that you're busy and you got a lot of things going on down there in Houston. And, some of you guys who may not know Patrick, he literally builds food trucks. So, all of these food trucks that we see out there that I love to go eat at, and all of that unique food that comes to our inner cities and that culture that has arisen really within the last 10 years is when I've ultimately noticed food trucks 10 to 15 years really hit the scene. And probably in the last 5 years, they've even become much more popular. Well, not only is Patrick building these trucks, he's got a factory that he builds these trucks down in Houston, Texas, but he's also now leading the food truck owner mastermind, where he's taking these food truck owners that have bought a trailer off of him or been successful in the food industry and the food truck industry, and taking them all to the next level by educating them, teaching them. Patrick, I know Patrick has been a member of Arete for quite a long time. Also, he's a member of Apex Executive. That's where I actually met Patrick. So I wanted to get him on here and really tell his story because he's got a phenomenal business down there, and he's just crushing it in every way possible. I know that he faced some challenges like many of us did during the COVID deal, but not only did he come out of that triumphant, he came out of it, I believe, a better business owner. So what's up, Patrick?
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. It's been quite a ride. It's amazing what you can do when you start making better decisions and asking yourself better questions. And so I've been going through that, man. I've actually lived from the bottom to the top, and I'm still not even at the top yet because I'm not settling for where we're at. But to tell you, if you want me to dive into my story, I'm from Nicaragua, right? Bolaños. I was born and raised there. Nicaragua was one of the poorest countries behind Haiti in the Western Hemisphere. Poverty-stricken, 99% of the people live in absolute dirt poverty. So I grew up there. My family is more middle income. We didn't have everything we wanted, but we didn't lack food or shelter, or, we had it pretty comfortable. But we weren't rich by any means. But we were filthy rich compared to the fucking people that were living in tin houses. You know what I'm saying? And so growing up there, you gain a little perspective of what you see down there compared to what you see here. Like a beggar on the street here in the U.S. is a fucking millionaire compared to the beggars on the street in Nicaragua. Like it's a huge difference. But as I lived there, as I grew up there, you become immune to what's going on around you. You become immune to the poverty. It's like just normalized, right? So it becomes normal to you. So I went through life. I went to school. I graduated. My grandmother on my dad's side's American. We lived through a civil war. I was born in the middle of a war in 1979. And in 84, we had a dip to Nicaragua in the middle of the night, and we migrated to the U.S. in 1984. I was 5 years old. My dad, who had a master's degree and all this shit, had to get odd jobs delivering pizzas. We lived in the fucking ghettos in Dallas, Texas. I remember one time living in Dallas, Texas, we threw away a mattress in our apartment complex, and people were fighting over a dirty old mattress, bro. These are the things that, you know, I don't know. They like live in my head. I remember that shit for some reason.
Yeah.
And I was groomed to go to school, get a degree. I went to St. Louis University like my grandfather did and my great uncle did. I studied MIS. I was just, you know, going through the motions. When I was in high school, I wasn't really a good student. You know, I was average. I did drugs, bro. You know, like, I don't know, not a lot of people. You know, I addicted to a few things here and there. You know, I experimented with some hallucinogenics and shit like that growing up. Probably too much.
That's probably that's probably the only reason why you're successful, man.
Maybe they say
they typically say
like 7 times. So
you know, entrepreneurs, man, we've got this thing where we're a little bit crazier than the general population because of our risk tolerance and things like that.
That's fucking scary, right? Shit that we put in our bodies.
Every entrepreneur that I know, we were talking to a guy that's practically a billionaire, Cody Serber, and he was talking about hallucinogenics. His wife literally did a breathing exercise that put us into a hallucinogenic state. So I'm just saying, I'm seeing a lot of correlations between the two.
Well, I don't do that anymore. I stay away from all that shit. I got my degree. I got married. I moved back to Nicaragua. I was overweight. I had a pretty good job for Nicaraguan standards, making $60,000 a year for Nicaragua. That's fucking insane. The level, but I wasn't keeping any of the money. Everything that was coming in was going out. And I was abusing cocaine. You know, I ain't gonna lie, it's a hell of a drug. I was use it. You know, I had to do a lot of partying. It was part of my job. I was a director of a commercial bank, and so I had to meet with clients, wine them, dine them, and that led to, you know, using and abusing. And so my marriage was on a rocky.
Good God, man! Why can't I find a banker like you?
That's how we close deals, bro. That's how we got close. Hey, we're gonna go
my banker, bro, and had a night of doing blow. I swear to God.
That's how we could close those motherfuckers.
That's how you guys did it down in Nicaragua.
Oh man, and you could be surprised. I mean, you're like literally close to Colombia, and you're getting the cream of the crop. Right?
That's just not what before it's stepped on.
Before it's watered down, before it's mixed with a bunch of shit that it's mixed over here. Yeah. So if you, man, I can't believe this is where that conversation led to. But
hey, that's all right, man. That's all right. Look, we're all adults here. Many of us have done some pretty interesting things throughout our life, and this is the one podcast where we can talk about it, man.
Absolutely. You know, and I don't mind talking. You know why I don't mind talking about it? Because I come clean. I have, everybody's got skeletons in their closet. My skeletons are out in the open, and I don't have to fear them anymore. And that what was holding me back when I was going through the motion. So it's eventually I moved to Houston, Texas in 2014. I got a job as a CFO of a restaurant group. You know, a lot of things happened in between the time that we got married and I moved to Houston. But when I was in Houston, I had a good paying job, you know, 75,000 base plus bonus plus a few things here and there. Then I got offered a CFO position at another job, same type CFO. They bumped my base pay to $85,90 plus bonuses and full health coverage. And I still didn't have any fucking money, bro. I was managing $25 million budgets. I was a CFO of a fucking $25 million company.
Yep.
And I was dead broke. So imagine that was a true meaning of an identity crisis that I was living through. And I felt it. You could tell from the outside that I was overweight, 240 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship at home with my wife was not real good. I would come home and sit on the couch and watch fucking TV all day. I played fantasy football like an idiot. And every Sunday I would be on the fucking couch all day, 12 hours for every Sunday during football season. My wife hated me for that. And December 2017, something happened. I got fired. I got fired because I spoke up about something that wasn't being done correctly. I was a good CFO. I wasn't the best CFO, but I was good at what I did.
Yeah.
And I got let go 1 week before Christmas. No money in my bank account. I didn't know where the fuck I was going to get money to pay rent. I didn't know where I was going to get money to take a trip up to Chicago to see my sister during Christmas. I had to borrow money from my father-in-law, $2,000 to pay rent in January. And I remember crying in my car. I was driving a Honda Civic. I was a CFO of a $25 million fucking restaurant, and I was driving a Honda Civic, bro. I remember crying in the car, and then it just dawned on me. Like, for some reason, I asked myself a good question. And that one question was, how did I let this happen? How did I let this situation happen? I blame myself. The only person that I could blame was myself. I could have made excuses. I could have said these assholes fired me because they're assholes, and but I put myself in that situation. I was responsible for where I was, where I put my family at risk, not having money to put food on the table. Family of 5, right? And it was put up or shut up time, dude. Put up or shut up. And so that's what I did. First thing I did, file for unemployment. Get some money coming into the bank account, $450 a week for 12 weeks. Okay, got a little breathing room there. Went out and got a sales job. That sales job was 100% commission based. I've been in sales most of my life, so I know sales. And I got paid $1,000 for every food truck that I could sell. Took me 2 days to sell my first food truck. 2 days. Why?
Yeah.
I was fucking hungry. I was starving to succeed, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that led to having an opportunity. We saw an opportunity in the marketplace. And we decided, hey, wait, look at this, bro. Not everybody lives up to what they're saying. We're ordering or we're brokering deals for other builders. We should start building ourselves. And that's what we did, one trailer at a time. In order to do that, though, so I left that restaurant business. And as a CFO, I've always been, good with numbers and good with their numbers, not with my numbers at the time.
Yeah, right.
And, I was the one responsible for getting a $2.5 million SBA loan, which was a nightmare, raising $1 million through a crowdfunding campaign. And I'd always been raising money for other people's businesses until I decided I'm going to raise some money for my own business. I put together a little pitch deck, sent it out to friends and family, and I raised $75,000 in 2 weeks. That was that was January 2018. It took me 3 weeks to go from in the gutter to making a decision to do something. Yeah. And that's when everything started clicking, bro. Shit just started clicking. I started seeing differences in the things that I was listening to, the people that I was hanging around with, the books that I was reading. I wouldn't read before. I started reading books, self-development books. I started listening to I listened to this video of a Denzel Washington speech, which is kind of like a mix, or they mixed it to a baseball video, and it was on Facebook, and I would listen to it every fucking morning. First thing I did when I woke up was listen to that video. It's a motivational speech. I started practicing gratitude. Gratitude was the first thing. As soon as I opened my eyes, be grateful for anything and everything that you have. And everything started to change, John. Everything started to change slowly, but surely. I was making progress, one unit at a time. Then I got around people like yourself. I got around Apex. I got around Arate. I got around Ryan Stewman's group, and I had the bad habit back then of buying shit. Before 2018, of buying shit and never completing it. I don't know. There was just something in me that I would, for example, I invested $8,000 in an online master's degree out of Europe, and I used whatever was going on in my life, and I never completed it. I lost $8,000. I hired a coach to teach me to become a better goalkeeper, because I walked on to the university goalkeeper as a backup, and I wanted to be the starter. So I hired a coach. I paid him, and I never went to practice, bro.
Yeah.
So I was in a bad habit of doing that kind of shit. And then Ryan Stewman came out with a $3,000 lifetime membership to Apex Entourage.
Yeah.
Which is the lower level, but a lifetime membership.
But
it got me started, got me access to all the videos. What did I do? I said, fuck this. I just dished out $3,000. I'm gonna actually complete whatever is involved in this package.
Sure.
I will wake up early in the morning, and I did the Build Your Machine in a week. Every
Yeah,
single video from the start to finish in under a week, I did it because I committed to doing it. For the first time ever, I actually completed something that I've set my mind to do. And it changed everything. It changed our business. I learned marketing. I learned standard operating procedures. I learned to use a CRM for my own business. I've had CRMs for other businesses, but and now we have a business that does 8 figures a year. We're not stopping. We have 2 facilities, 26,000 square feet. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. We're a fucking, we're growing entrepreneurs. We like to make messes. We make messes all the time, but I don't let that shit keep me back.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's me in a nutshell, pretty much so far. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in between, but
man, there was a lot of good learning lessons and a lot of good nuggets in what you just dropped there. I kept on wanting to jump in and say something about some of the things that you were talking about, but man, you just got going, and there's a lot of motivational ammunition inside of what you just dropped there. Number one, a lot of times we don't really meet our full potential until we hit rock bottom. So you were at the point of rock bottom where you had the choice to either make 2 decisions. One, you could literally just go find a gutter and die, or you could step up and become the man that you always knew that you were meant to be. And literally draw out what I like to call that giant that's inside of our heart, and draw out that giant and become the individual that you are meant to be. The second thing that I heard as you got going and you built this business is that you got to realize that things aren't always going to be exactly perfect, right? Perfection is a myth. And I was actually recently listening to a philosophy of Aristotle. And Aristotle talked about how in the spirit world, we're split, right? We got spirit and we got flesh. And in the spirit world, things can be perfect, but in the real world, they can't be. An example of that was if you picture and you envisioned a square in your mind, you can envision a perfect square. But if you try to write it down on the piece of paper, when it enters this physical world, there's no way that you can actually even draw a perfect square.
There you go. I like that, man.
It's incredibly powerful, and it's also relieving to know that not everything is going to be perfect. But the point of it is that you're out there and you are a man on a mission that is in the mindset of achievement, is the happy man. The stagnant individual, the one that was the person that you was, even as the CFO, it sounded like you were living that of a stagnant or CFO. You were living that of the stagnant life.
I was miserable.
You were miserable.
Miserable.
So sometimes, and the next point that I got from that story is sometimes our greatest catastrophes that we have in life at the time, it seems like such a bad thing that it just happened to us. But if you do what you did, then this actually becomes one of the best turning points that you've ever experienced in your entire life.
Absolutely. But go ahead.
Which is powerful. Just a very, very powerful journey that you had there, man, with the ebbs and flows. So I'm sure a lot of the audience grasped that. But that was some of the things that I was thinking about as I was listening to you talk.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I also started to do was, have a little faith. Have a lot of faith, actually. And God will only send you things that you can handle. And before, I wasn't really paying attention to anything that God was sending me. Now I see things as opportunities, whatever that may be, God will only send you what you can handle. And he sent me that. And he knew. God knew that I could handle it, get out of it. And now I feel like I want to help others. It's been 4 years since I've been on this journey. If I would have tried to help somebody right at the beginning, I probably wouldn't have been. I couldn't even help myself. I was still trying to help myself. But today, I feel like I can help others. And I want to do that. I want to share this message. And obviously, being in a group like Apex, where you're a part of, and everybody is on the same mission to be the best versions of themselves. And people are writing books, doing podcasts, but everything is with the same purpose.
Right.
And that's to help people.
Well, and not to mention, it's like a seed. If it's planted if I go out and lay a seed outside on the concrete, if I lay it out on the sidewalk, that seed has no opportunity to grow because of its environment. Yep. It doesn't have anything to take hold of. It doesn't have anything to grow, to rise up. But if you take that same seed and you put it in fertile soil, it's going to grow. But here's the first thing, okay? So when you lost that job, all right, here's what you got to understand. You've got a seed there. That seed is either going to move you forward or it's going to wither and die. Yep. But the thing about a seed is it's got to grow down before it grows up. Okay. So a seed has got to gain root and grow down before it emerges and grows up. Now, here's the crazy thing about that. The deeper that it grows down, the bigger that it's going to grow up.
Wow.
Okay. So, that's why when Jesus Christ himself said that we're going to be like trees planted by living water, he meant a tree planted in fertile ground with deep, deep roots. God, I think I heard Sean Whalen say one time, he said something to the nature of you can't really go to heaven unless you have roots that hit the base of hell. Right?
Yeah. So that's powerful too.
I believe that a lot of our misfortunes have been meant to build us up. And it's almost like a tornado. And I'm telling all you guys out there, this entire audience here, that you're going to have tornadoes come through your life. There's going to be seasons where shit is going to be ripped apart. But guess what? The beautiful thing about that is, and the thing that I want you guys to keep in mind, is the only thing left standing is going to be what is strong.
Yep.
All right. That's the beautiful thing about a tornado, my friends. The only thing left standing is going to be what is strong.
So, John,
that you can build off of.
Once you have those roots and you start sprouting out the ground, you can grow together.
Yeah. Right?
So your roots will continue to come down and your tree or the sprout will continue to go up as well. So so it's like a never-ending journey. It's like improving yourself is never-ending.
It is.
You got to go through life and that's why I get around people like you, bro. That's why I do those things, because I know that even though I might have heard something that has been repeated several times, one day I'm just going to hear it different. One day it's going to help differently.
Yeah, man. What you said was so interesting, Patrick, because when you talk about your roots continuing to grow, there's a big myth out there that transformation is supposed to be fun and it's easy. It's a huge myth out there. It's probably one of the biggest lies that have been told that keeps people in a cycle of literally trying to do something. And, oh my God, I feel bad. It's hard. I feel terrible for a moment of time. So I must be doing something wrong. And then they give up. Okay. But the truth of the matter is transformation can be very painful. Yeah. And it's almost like turning into a werewolf. You're going to, at some point during transformation, you're going to have to deal with and a lot of people don't realize this. It's actually at a cellular level is one part of it, is that literally your cells that have been generating these thoughts and this, this type of everything that builds cells, everything from nutrition to thoughts to all the chemicals, everything, you literally, your mind will change, but you have a cellular transformation that actually has to come next. And people actually mourn the death of the person they're leaving behind. So every time you level up and have a transformation, there's a person that you're leaving behind. There's a set of habits that you're leaving behind. And you're going to go into a mourning period. I like the people on this podcast to get the truth, and the truth is you've got to be willing to accept that mourning period. And we talked about this a lot earlier, especially when the whole COVID thing, when you're in that state of darkness, how can you lean into that darkness to correct more things, more of the things? And we all have issues. We all have darkness inside of us that we're going to have to deal with. but how can you
Oh, yeah.
correct and shed more light on that darkness during them periods of time to come out better? See, Patrick, I don't understand why people are surprised to hear that we got darkness. When you look out front, do you see the sun coming up and do you see it going down?
Yep.
The sun comes up and the light shines on you, right?
Yep.
And then it goes down and it disappears.
Yep.
Right there's your life in a nutshell, man.
That's it.
Just by looking out your front door, you can tell what's going to happen in your life. The sun's going to be blazing on you and it's going to disappear. And when it's dark, get out there and look inside of that heart and find these things that you can correct and become a better individual. I mean, I can't remember a time that I ran outside and said, oh my God, the sun went down. It's dark. Yet we feel that way when something bad or when we're going through a transformation and we have a bad time with it. Right.
Yep.
But the knowledge of this is simply one of the greatest things, because if you know this and you expect this to happen, then you know that it's just part of the process. And
it is.
There's a reason why they call it the comfort zone, my friends, and it's not because it's uncomfortable. Outside of the comfort zone is fucking uncomfortable, and that's why transformation requires you to get outside the comfort zone, which causes you to be really uncomfortable.
It can be very lonely.
It's not a feel good process. It's a fight your way through it process.
Definitely not easy, bro. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. It's not easy to do, and that's why not everybody does it.
All right, my man. So let's talk real quick about the future of Trailer King Builders. And let's talk a little bit about some of the folks out there who might want to get into the food truck business, and how can they reach out to you and get information on this? Because I know it's a huge business. Shoot, dude, you just literally launched an Everbowl truck, which is the very first food truck to come out for the franchise Everbowl. Yes, and that's a franchise now that he's building trucks for. And there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of growth there. And it's really neat, especially here's what you guys got to think in the world we're in today, where people can just shut shit down. Well, they ain't going to shut it down if you're on four wheels and you can get around them. Right. So we're literally looking at, I believe, a recession proof business model. We're looking at a business model that is a COVID proof business model. And that's super powerful in this day and age. And so tell us a little bit about how they can reach out to you and, what that looks like.
Hey, John, you know what's funny? Talking about COVID, COVID was the perfect storm for my industry.
Yeah.
I just happened to be in it.
Yep.
For some odd reason, I happened to be in one of the fastest growing industries that the pandemic produced. It was growing steadily before the pandemic, right? We were growing steadily. We were becoming a household name. But then COVID came and put fuel on that fire. But you know what happened, people? COVID caused people to realize that, one, they're not going to live forever. So they have to go out there and take action, right? So if they're passionate about food, and they're passionate about, being a weekend warrior and wanted to serve their food to the public, they decided to start doing it because people started getting let go from their businesses. They started getting furloughed. And all of a sudden, they're in a situation that I was in 4 years prior. They're in the situation, and now they're like, oh, shit. You know what? I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to go tap into my 401k. I'm going to go get a loan. I have pretty good credit. I love how people feel after they have my food, and they started to do it. So our business took off. In our business, Trailer King Builders, how you see on the hat, it's not about us. It's about our clients. The clients is the story. Everyone has it. And I love to share everybody's stories. We have stories of people that got let go from a very high level position at a oil and gas company, and they started their barbecue business. Now they're doing $40,000 a month in sales and making a better living than they were when they were employed by a big oil and gas company. You got people like Don Marler, who's in our Apex group, who he was a Walmart employee, and he started slinging cheesesteaks out of a tent. And now he's bought 2 food trucks from us. He's got a brick and mortar, and his story is also amazing. So that's why we do what we do. And if you want to be in the game or you want to have that story told, you can reach out to us at our Instagram, Trailer King Builders. Or you can go to our website and play around with our quoting tool. You can actually build yourself a trailer or food truck on our website, trailerkingbuilders.com. We will help you by giving you the tools, not only the truck. I don't want to hand you a truck and wave goodbye and let you fend off for yourself if you've never been a business owner. I want to be able to teach you how to run a P&L, how to price your menu, how to market your business, how to drive traffic, how to hire a good bookkeeper, a good bookkeeper. I was thinking of Goodman.
Hopefully the bookkeeper is good.
I was thinking of Kale.
Yeah.
How to get a CPA to save you on taxes. How to get a good merchant acquirer, a POS system that'll help you. So I just don't want to give you the box and you go and fend off for yourself. I want to create that relationship to help you level up out the gate. And that's why we're making a difference. And that's why we're growing so fast. Again, we're not perfect. We have a shit ton of customers. We got handed a pretty shitty car during the pandemic because of supply chain issues. So we've had a lot of delays. We used to be a 4-week out type of business. Now we're a 6-month out type of business. One coupled with demand and supply chain issues, but here's a really good little nugget that I want to share with everybody. So we got handed this card, supply chain issues. I could tell everybody, I could call clients and say, hey, here's my excuse. It's valid. I can't get supplies. I'm just going to wait. But no, I didn't do that. We didn't do that. We signed on another lease in the middle of this fucking chaos because we need to produce faster. We need to control the whole process ourselves. And so we're putting all our cards and saying, okay, we're going all in on this. We're going all in on our clients. What do we need to do? We went out, got an SBA loan. We went out, used that SBA loan to sign another lease, buy equipment, buy machinery, buy inventory to speed up our process. And so, you might be dealt some shitty cards sometimes, but you got to keep playing, yo.
That's right, man. Love it, brother. Love it. So that is Patrick Bolanos. My man at TrailerKingBuilders.com. And again, you guys check him out on Instagram at Trailer King Builders. He's also got a couple Facebook groups, a lot of educational stuff out there, and also just launched the Real Food Truck Owners Mastermind.
Hell yeah.
And he's taken that all to the next level. And Patrick, I appreciate you coming on board on this podcast. And as usual, my friends, I'm going to see you on the next one.
Appreciate you, John.
Thank you.